everybody. I'm Dan Esdale, and you are listening to the Care Champion CareCast, the only podcast by Care Champions for Care Champions. Today, I am thrilled to be joined by Heather Melo. Heather, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, everybody. I'm Heather Melo. I am the Assistant Director of Day Services at Parker Street, and I will eventually be moving to a new location with the tree department whenever that happens.
Lots of exciting things going on at Incompass right now, and Heather is actually in the middle of a lot of them, which is why I'm so pleased that you agreed to kind of talk to me today. So Heather, before we even get really into those things, like just tell me a little bit about yourself. How long have you been working at Incompass?
So I've been working with Incompass for 4 years. I started in our CBDS department in Wilmington at our other location. And I was promoted to the Assistant Director of Day Services in Wilmington and then transferred over to Parker Street. And now I oversee all the departments within this building. So CBDS, Day Hab, Tree, and Competitive Employment.
And is Encompass your first foray in human services, or have you had a career in human services prior to Encompass?
So I started in human services in 2007. I worked for a residential provider with kids through DCF. So when I started there, I was part-time and I did a couple case coordination jobs, a supervisor job, and then I eventually was the assistant director of that program before I left. So I've been in this field for quite some time.
So Heather, assistant director, obviously a very important role that you play here at Encompass. And just introducing yourself, you mentioned 3, 4, 5 programs really off the top of your head, multiple locations. So can you elaborate a little bit for our listeners? So what is your role, and what is a day-to-day assistant director like you? What does that look like?
Okay. So day-to-day, I oversee each program to make sure that everyone's set up for the day. I oversee the managers there, so we make sure that we have all our materials for the day and for the week. From there, we start our planning for the next week, and throughout the month, we try and have activities for everyone to do and backup plans just in case anything happens throughout the day. For employment, I work with our career specialist to make sure that he's able to meet with all of his folks out in the community to make sure that they're continuing their employment, maintaining it, the jobs are going well, his trainings are going well, and also work with those folks who haven't been placed yet to find them opportunities to work within the community.
So touch on that a little bit, because that actually is a really important aspect, I think, of what Encompass does. So we talk about with open hearts, we open doors, and employment is a huge part of that. I think that the more employers that we engage, the more opportunities that we create for individuals, so that feeling that it generates, right? Earning a paycheck. And I know Aldrin is, your man in terms of employment. Can you talk a little bit about that program just in general, in terms of, how it works?
Yeah. So a lot of times we have folks that are already enrolled in our CBDS program that have goals towards employment, whether that be in a group setting or eventually to be competitively on their own within their community, and Aldrin's checking in with them. So a lot of times they start in that program and they work towards independent employment. Aldrin's biggest thing is to kind of complete assessments with them to kind of put the feelers out of what they're interested in doing, what their strengths are, what things they may not be so good at, so that we can work towards those things to find them a job that would be best suited for them.
And how about on the employer side? How does it work in terms of recruiting the employers to participate in our program?
So sometimes Aldrin already has relationships with different employers in the community. So sometimes they're reaching out to us to look to see if we have anyone else that could fill those slots. But I think Aldrin definitely spends a lot of time, going to different community locations and just talking to them about the type of work that we do and the type of people that we serve, to kind of get them on board and give them that opportunity to work with us. And it's ended positively in a lot of different areas.
And can you talk a little bit about, you said the type of work that we do. So what are the types of roles that we have created, if you will, in partnership with the employer community for the people that we serve?
Hospitality, we have the supermarket, we have a guy that makes medical devices. So we're kind of all over the map as far as what they're doing. But I mean, in regards to employment, I feel like the sky's the limit for those folks, because really it's individually based. So if we have people that are really looking to get into a certain field, we're trying to make that happen for them.
So you've covered a lot, you do a lot, and you have had a long and distinguished career in this field. What do you like most about your role at Encompass, about working in the field of inhuman services?
So I think my favorite part about working in this field is that every day is completely different, based on, who you're working with that day, because we're working with people, people have good days, people have bad days, people kind of are steady Eddie, so for me, my favorite part, I think, is just that I'm working with new people every day. I'm also working with people that have been here for years and years. So seeing their growth over a time period is really, fulfilling to see. And a lot of times when you know that you've made like a positive impact on those folks and you're part of that process, like it's great.
That seems to be a theme, I think, talking to people in this space, sort of the intrinsic rewards of the work that we do. But let's hone in now. So you talked a little bit in broad-based strokes here about seeing the growth of the people that you support. Give me a story. Is there a story that you have where maybe some kind of engagement interaction with someone that you're supporting or a staff member, just something that really stands out to you?
I would say one of the biggest situations that stands out to me is a few years ago we had a new admission. On paper, they had a lot of struggles, whether that be behaviorally, with hygiene, with literally anything you could think of. And so when they first came in the door, we had a really hard time trying to implement a routine. It took 3 to 4 staff almost every single day, trying to just get this individual to do something. And I would say that as a team, we all kind of had our role to play, whether that be, I'm going to get this person off the van, I'm going to get them in the door to use the bathroom, I'm going to get them into the program room. And it took us probably 6 to 9 months to get this person into like a routine. And they ended up doing really well. They were able to actually come in every day without having any behavior, do their routine, get into their program room, and leave successfully every single day. And that wasn't something that we were experiencing the first, like I said, 6 to 9 months that they were there. They were almost like a new person. So it was really nice to see our team come together and, kind of like break back those layers to make that person feel comfortable within our program and actually want to participate.
So, one of the things we talk about here, Heather, is the Encompass experience, right? And yes, I know I'm the marketing guy. I know I'm the guy who comes out and is always preaching about our story. But I think it's an important aspect of what we do. How would you describe to somebody who maybe is considering a turning 22 family, as a for instance, considering their options for their loved ones? How would you describe the Encompass experience?
So for me, I feel like all the staff are super invested in every individual that comes in this door. You can ask almost anyone that has worked with said individual about them. They know all of their pros, cons, strengths, weaknesses, everything about them, So for me, when I transferred from Wilmington over here, it was really nice to have a group of people who have worked with these individuals for so long that I feel like I didn't miss a beat coming in here new, knowing these people that I am just meeting, like I've known them for 10 years. So I feel that Encompass does a really great job of, really investing their time and getting to know the individual, not just in the ways in which we have to write their goals and record about, like all those kind of day-to-day things, like really getting the time to know the person. And I think that as a whole, we do a really good job of that.
Great. So building strong connections with the people that we're supporting. That's fantastic. So now before I let you go here, Heather, we do have a little thing. We like to have a little fun here, obviously, at Encompass. We call ourselves Care Champions after all. So we have a little thing that we call the lightning round. That sound means it's time for the super, super fun transition. So I'm going to give you 4 questions, and I just want you to give me whatever comes to the top of your head. All right? You ready? Yep. Do you have any pets?
I do. I have an 11-year-old cat.
11. All right. What's the cat's name?
Bear.
Bear. I like the irony there. Give me 3 of your favorite movies.
So I'm really into the whole Star Wars saga. So that right there, we got like 7.
Yeah. So we're going with the Star Wars franchise, I guess is what you're saying.
Into. However, outside of that, I would say that I really dig Top Gun. Classic,
Great. And that's coming back out, I think in December,
which I'm excited about. And I think that I would also have to go with, all the Marvel themes. I'm really, the Avengers is pretty great.
So you're into the big budget Disney now studios, I guess, is the way to go there. Favorite food?
Pizza, hands down.
Great. All right. And are you a football fan? Brady or Belichick?
I think that I'm going to have to go with Brady. Got to do it.
Okay. All right. All right. And then, last thing, a little outside of our core questions, but I believe you also had a little time off recently. You want to tell us a little bit about the new addition to your family?
Yes. I had a baby girl last August, and she's going to be 1 in 2.5 weeks.
Time flies, right? Time flies. You're going to have a 1-year-old in 2.5 weeks.
Crazy.
Wow. Well, congratulations again. I know she's been featured. We at Incompass, we have a weekly email. We call it the Care Champion Bulletin, and Heather's little one made the Care Champion Bulletin, and it got I think a record open rate when I sent that out. So she's already making a splash here at Incompass, which is great. So man, so Heather, I want to thank you. Thank you for entertaining us and for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Any final words?
I don't think so. This was fun. Let's do it again.
Deal. All right. So I want to thank our guest, Heather Melo, Assistant Director at Incompass. I, as always, am your host, Dan Esdale. Thanks again for listening. And until the next time, this has been the Care Champion CareCast.